Good morning. We talked before about the nervous system function and the parts of the nervous system, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Now we are going to talk about the basic unit of the nervous system. This is the part responsible for transporting the signals all over the nervous system. The nervous system translates the information from the surrounding environment into electrical signals. So, because it's electrical, we call it impulses. This happens through the neuron. The neuron is a specialized cell for the nervous system. The neuron is responsible for transferring messages from the sensory organs to the brain. Then the brain will process these informations and transfer its orders to the body again, to the body organs again, to respond properly. This is the shape of the neuron. Here, these cells, the cells in blue and pink, these are called glial cells. These cells are important for the support of the neuron itself. The structure of the neuron is divided into three parts. Number one, the dendrites. These are the dendrites. They are branched from the cell body of the neuron. This is the body of the neuron, and these are the dendrites. They are branched from the cell body. Then, after the cell body, which takes the information collected by the dendrites and transfer it into electrical signals, then the pulse is transferred through this part, which is called axon. So this long filament here is called axon. Each neuron has only one axon, and at the end of the axon there is the axon terminals. These axon terminals transfer the electrical impulses into chemical substances known as neurotransmitters. The neurons can be divided into two main types: sensory neurons and motor neurons. The sensory neurons, from their name, they are responsible for receiving the informations from the surrounding environment. Then they transfer these informations to the brain. The motor neurons are responsible for the motion. So the brain transfer its orders as impulses to these motor neurons to give the suitable response. Like in this picture, when an outer effector, like being hit by a hammer on your knee, what happens here is that the sensory neurons in this part transfer the impulses through the spinal cord to the brain. Then the brain will start to process and give the order back to the motor neurons. These are the motor neurons. It will give the order to your leg to move because it was hit by the hammer. These are the parts of the neuron, like we said, the dendrites, the cell body, and the axon. The axon is covered by a lipid layer known as myelin sheath. At the end of the axon, we have the axon terminals. The neurons are connected through the dendrites and the axon terminals, meaning each axon terminal at the end of one neuron is attached to the dendrites of the next neuron, and so on. Let's see it here. These are the axon terminals of one neuron attached to the branched dendrites of the next neuron. This is how the impulse is transferred from one neuron to the next one. We said that these the nervous system receives the impulses from the surrounding environment. This happens through the organs, the sensory organs, like the skin, the eye, the nose, the tongue. Let's talk first about the vision. How can we see objects? We see any object or motion or light through our eyes. The outer part of the eye is protected by a membrane. This membrane is known as cornea. Under the cornea, we have the pupil, which is an opening in the eye through which the light can pass through. Then, this is the eye pupil. Okay, then the light is collected at the end of the eye in the retina. Retina here has nerve cells or receptors. They are called rods and cones. These receptors are responsible for transferring the impulses to the brain through the optic nerve. Then the brain will process this information and we will be able to see the object in front of us. For the skin, it has different kinds of receptors. These kinds of receptors, which are found in this layer, which is called the dermal layer. These are the receptors in the dermal layer. As you can see, we have different kinds of receptors in the skin. Each kind of these receptors are responsible for a certain feeling, like feeling pressure, the temperature, pain, and vibration. Also, we can hear through the vibration of the liquid inside our cochlea. Let's see this vibration together. When the sound passes from the outer ear through the canal and hit the drum, these small bones will start to vibrate. And when this vibration reaches the cochlea, the liquid inside the cochlea will start to vibrate, and these signals will be transported to the brain through this nerve, which is called the auditory nerve. As for the olfactory cells, here, they will react to the chemicals found in the dissolved and also to the chemicals in the air when they pass through our nose, through the nasal cavity. These chemicals will be translated into impulses carried to the brain through the olfactory nerve, and then they will be interpreted or translated into a certain smell or a certain taste. That's why the taste and smell sensations are connected together, because they are translated through the same kind of nerve cells.